It's April 5th, 2015, and I was just talking about what Chris Dabney did. And the other thing that he did to make me think that he was a safe person at the time, and was not someone who was like James Cartwright, who had just raped me in that hotel room, is when I was leaving with James Cartwright, Chris Dabney was trying to get me to go with him and trying to pull me over his direction, basically the same government thing that the government people had done in the past, telling me that if someone's trying to keep me to stay with staying over there with them, to then leave them and definitely go with this other man to their place. And then the whole time Chris Dabney was going, like he was warning me to not go with James Cartwright because he was trying to protect me or something, when really all he was doing is trying to facilitate the continuation of serial gang raping of me, which he knew was going to occur with James Cartwright. And then he wanted to make me think back on how he had said, no, don't go with James Cartwright, so that I would assume and think that, oh, well, then Chris Dabney, even though he knows this guy and his friends, he actually really was trying to protect me and didn't want me to go with him because he knew he would do that to me. So that made me think that when I was going with him to his house, on top of everything else, made me think that he was not part of this government gang rape thing, and that he had tried to warn me to not go, and he wasn't going to do the same thing, but actually he just wanted to get me into his own setting so that he could do the exact same thing, and so that he would have a chance to rape me too, just like the other government employees did. And his response and everything, and trying to like hold me over there, and his expressions and saying, not wanting me to go with James Cartwright, was pretty much like the same thing that the government had programmed me into reacting to in Coos Bay repeatedly, Coos Bay and Washington State, actually. So Chris Dabney raped me. Another person that they all knew was Matt. He's the truck driver who drove from New Mexico over to that direction, and it was right, and the FBI knows him. He is a Pentagon and FBI computer person, basically like the United States Department of Justice computer person. And he also raped me, and in the truck on the way over, there were a couple of bunks, and he's Irish American, and I had been taken over to his house when I was a kid, and he knew me, and I'd been introduced to his brothers from Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts, in a rural area. It's like a countryside. And what he did was basically take advantage of me after I was drinking again in the back cab of a truck, when they knew that I had been chained to a truck in the past in a cab, and if I tried to resist being raped, then I was getting viciously punched and beat up and chained to this bunk in the back of a truck, as like a semi-truck, for a longer amount of time. So basically, he used all of the same government triggers that they had used after repeatedly torturing me and bludgeoning me, like massively beating me, for refusing to just pretend like everything was fine and I was going along with some kind of sex, when in reality it was rape. So he also raped me, and he knew exactly what had been done to me. And I even asked him at one point, I said, "Are you going to chain me up?" And I remember when I asked him sort of the same way I used to ask when I was a little girl. you going to chain me up too? And no, he didn't chain me up because he didn't have to, because he already knew that I was intimidated enough and afraid enough of being killed because of what the government had repeatedly done to me. So he gang raped me. And when Chris Dabney, when the individual who had me acting like I was supposed to point out what was supposed to happen with my mom at the Chris Dabney's mother's flat or whatever, they had said to me at the time when they did that, they said, just so you know, Kate Middleton is going to be queen. So Chris Dabney, when decades later he was doing the same thing that they did to me there at that same place, he didn't say anything to me like Kate Middleton's going to be queen after he raped me. But he raped me in the same manner. He raped me in the same manner that in the same manner that my Jeanette, stop that. It's pawing at my computer. Ah! So, what I'm saying